Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got something a little bit different to share with you guys. I've done content like this before, but it's very, very rare, just because it's not my main interest. But I do kind of have a secret fascination with stuff like this, and I am very particular, as anybody would be who gets into this territory. But if you're into knives, you're probably into a few different types of things, and this might be one of them. Thanks so much to Herman Knives for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. I will link this down in the description. It's available in a few different configurations. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. I want to apologize to Herman Knives. I meant to do this a long time ago, and just it ended up kind of, falling between the cracks, so to speak. But here we are today, taking a look at something cool, something new from Herman, and that's the Epika pen. Let you guys take a look here. I am not like the pen expert, but I do love stuff like this. I think it's so cool. And the first time I got this out, I've already been in here, but the first time I got this out, I was like, wow. This pen is something that most people consider to be such a simple and boring thing. You could say the same thing about pocket knives. This is a Fisher Space refill, by the way. But, as is the case with anything in this territory, there's so much, potential for detail and even if it's not needed, luxury, right? At the end of the day, a pen writes, a knife cuts, right? A watch tells time. But there's so much room for more detail. And something that I noticed about this immediately, I've got a bunch of other pens that I use. I'm going to show them here in a second. The texturing on this. Oh, that eggshell. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Texturing added again to the pocket clip. There's also some unique things. If you stick around here for a second, I want to talk about the locking system they use for this. The cap here. Look at that texturing here. So beautiful. Such a nice size too. The pens that I use the most, and I have more, but I use the Oz Machine Company bolt action pen. I really like this. It's kind of a slimmer pen. I've got one from Tactile Turn that has the newer kind of up and down switch. I like that one. The one that I use the most before I got this one is the Tactile Turn push button or the button lock pen in zirconium. I like this one. It's just a little heavy. So I kind of like that girthiness. Some people like the thinner pens or the in-between ones, right? I kind of like the larger size. It feels more natural in my hand. I don't need the excess length of it, and I certainly don't need the heft of it. So this ends up falling into kind of a sweet spot here. I really love how this disengages. Oh boy. For this is like a proprietary system, apparently. And this is his first run at a pen. These are also made and machined in Poland, to my knowledge. I can't believe that they did this brand new mechanism, and it was all internal. And they managed to get it and also have it feel so... It's such a silly thing to obsess over, but as a knife guy, clicks and clacks, man. You guys, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You know it when you feel it. It just... It's so good. It's so good. So I want to read a little bit about this. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've got the website up as a cheat sheet because I was trying to like memorize certain things. I'm going to zoom up here so you guys can at least enjoy the pen while I'm reading here. But there's a lot here. There's so much that went into this. And this was a pretty complex process. But something that they said the biggest challenge for them was creating a unique locking system. Many concepts were tested by us, leading to the selection of the one we considered the best, which we named the Herman Ceramic Rotary Locking System. The system consists of 3 2.5 millimeter ceramic balls for locking, 5 1 millimeter balls for bearing the rotational movement of the clip, and 1 2 millimeter ball to limit the range of rotational movement. We made the frame of this system from phosphor bronze which is a very durable material and also has self-lubricating properties. That's really cool. I actually don't know personally, like admittedly, I don't know a lot about all of the systems involved with, like locking pens and engaging and disengaging. But this is very interesting in any case. Another unique feature that sets our Epika apart from other pens on the market is the creation of a single contoured body made from grade 5 titanium. It has no joints and is very ergonomic. To achieve this effect, we decided to purchase a Swiss-type lathe, and it turned out that despite such an advanced machine, making such a long, solid titanium body was another significant obstacle, which we fortunately managed to overcome. That's very cool. So they go on to say that the clip is simple. We thought so too. Ergonomic, of course, and meeting our aesthetic criteria. The challenges began when we got the idea to combine this ergonomics and aesthetics with the function of the HCRLS, or the Herman ceramic rotary locking system, following the principle that what is difficult we do immediately, and what is impossible takes us 3 days. And added the concept that the clip with the body of the Herman ceramic rotary locking system should be made from a single solid piece of titanium without any joints, screws, pins, etc. Don't even ask. It may have taken us a bit more than 3 days, but we did it. We searched for what we considered the perfect refill for a long time, etc., etc. They went with the Fisher Space. But I think this is really, really cool. And apparently a very, very ambitious project. And as much as I have experienced with Herman knives, and any of you who have picked up a Herman knife, if you've never checked out Herman knives, I mean, these are custom made in Poland, mostly machine elements, but incredibly impressive knives. I own tons of them in my personal collection. But those of you who are familiar with Herman knives, as much of a mountain this probably was to climb, I literally can't imagine the complexity of like designing a system like this from the ground up. You know, all I can do is just sit here and go, ooh, smooth, ooh, feel good. Yeah. But what's involved with making that work, I have no idea. But it doesn't surprise me that a company like Herman Knives, that, you know, who makes truthfully some of the most amazing, you know, ultra high-end production, semi-custom, whatever you want to call it, I mean, ever that I've experienced. They make some of the best. It does not surprise me that they're able to make a pen like this. Also, I have to admit, Herman, no offense, I thought these pens would be like $500. I just figured they would be. So while they are still very expensive, right? Again, I know people are going to say, oh my gosh, that much money for a pen. But I mean, how long have you been on my channel, right? A lot of people saying that they don't have any reservations against spending the same amount of money or double on a pocket knife. But when it comes to a pen, right? I get it, but you have to imagine that they're like these types of ultra complex things can and do cost more than expensive knives. And the people who are going to have the biggest problem with it are firearm people. Like, yeah, you could buy a High Point for the same amount of money, but do you feel good about that purchase? Does it feel like it's a good purchase? I don't think so. I would rather have the pen than a High Point. So what I'm saying is it comes down to perspective and what you personally value. You know, if you're a big pen enthusiast and you like all of these little tiny details and you like, you know, really cool proprietary locking systems that aren't necessarily changing the game for the pen world, but are just cool because they're unique, right? If you like to have that complete loadout, you know, pen, wallet, watch, knife, maybe firearm. A lot of times, if you appreciate the complexity and, you know, kind of the time it takes to craft something that's ultra precision, if you appreciate that in one object, you can appreciate it in another object. And so I feel like that's why so often we see people who like knives also like watches, and they also like pens, you know, and a number of other things. It's because we kind of get into that shared, you know, that's the element that all this stuff shares. But anyways, I was actually really surprised to see that these come in, the base price is like $239. It's expensive, sure, but it's nowhere near as expensive as I thought it was going to be. But these are really cool. I actually really, really enjoyed this. And I'm going to make use of this here because after this is, I want to say it's snobby, but then again, it's not, because I feel like anybody who experiences pens like this, they just all of a sudden, it's like you don't want to use the pens you've been using. We have always bought in my house the, like the Bic multi-pack. That's just what we have. And you use it until it's out and then you throw it away. But those get irritating and they don't always write, even when they have ink left. And while they're just fine, they work perfectly. Once I started experiencing nicer pens, I stopped wanting to use. Now I go out of my way. Anytime I have to sign a check, and it's not because I just want to feel cool while I'm writing, but anytime I have to sign a check, or even when we play board games or games in general that require somebody keep track of something with a pen, I always get out one of my nicer pens because I know that it's gonna work. And if I have to write, that's what I'm gonna want to write with. So it's going to be for some people, and it's definitely not going to be for everybody. But I thought this was really, really cool. And so I would recommend that you at least check these out. This is about as simple as it gets for the Epika, but they get substantially more complicated, including different milling, different patterns, different anodization. There's a bunch of different options. So I would suggest you at least check them out and see what they've got. But for those of you who do decide to pick one of these up, you will not be disappointed. This is really cool. That's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check those out. Sorry. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.